Hello, class. Uh, we'll be discussing about our information security governance today. Uh, Now, we will explain the purpose of our information governance and describe the information governance framework. That's the two goal of this slide. Of this, that's the two goal of today's section. Now, introduction to information security governance. Corporate governance deal with different ways. The board of director and executives command the company. Talking of corporates, like their governance, the way they treat it is different from the board directors to the executive command and the way the company, the staff, and everybody see it. The IT governance, they deal with using the managing technology for running the company. In the IT departments, the way they govern their governance is to use the technology to run the company operations. And also have the security governance can also be defined as a set of duties and application defined by the executives of the company to provide strategic goal and making sure they are was achieved. Here is the security governance. This one, which is what is a plan which is being established. It has been established by the executive to achieve the goal. These are the process we need to follow to achieve the common goal of the what of the lay down common goal for the business success. And then, if you are to look at this structure, we have from the corporate governance to the finance governance to the IT governance, risk governance. Under the IT governance, you have performance and capacity governance. And then you also under the risk governance, we have information security governance. Under information security governance, we have information security operational management. We also have information security compliance management. Both the what operation and the compliance have to be governed. These are the strategies plan provided by the executives of the company to achieve the goal and make sure all these goals that are being laid down what is being achieved. Maybe the goal of an oil company is to what is to meet their targets. Maybe they want to be drilling close to 1 million barrel per month and so forth. They will what strategize a plan and then they will create a governance on how to strategize and meet this goal and make sure that this goal is what is achieved. That is what we call what governance. I mean, that's what we call security governance. Now, purpose of information security governance. One, the reason or purpose of information security governance is to make sure companies and organizations mandatorily implement security control. The purpose of this security governance is to make sure that every organization, both medium and large, implements a security control so that they can successfully run their business without any intruder, without any attack vectors, or without any being stopped, business operation being stopped, and then manage any security related issues, any threats on how to manage it. Also, that's why this governance is the security governance is being was implemented. As related to governance, this table gives different roles and respective what responsibility. Here we'll be talking about the responsibility of each role in the organization. Now let's talk about role and their responsibility. Number one, which is Chief Executive Officer, which is the CEO. This supervise all the whole affairs, supervise overall corporate security governance. His function is to make sure that he supervise every security governance, the operation, the security, the compliance, and everything under him. Also give direction to the board, customers, and others. This also is to give what is to direct what the board have to do, recommendation also to the customers and others, including the staffs that are working and contractor also is going to give direction on the security for them. And they also have chief security officer. We have chief executive officer that I talk about now. Now, this is chief security officer, CSO. He said this will set him will set a policy and procedure, program and security training. The chief security officer is to set a policy, create policy that is needed, and then procedure step by step on how to implement this, and then program and security training. To also provide security training, staff security training on how to what to on how to adhere to the policies, the step by step of the policy, and to take care of security risk and breaches. He is in charge of taking care if there's any security risk and breaches. You want to recommend, implement all those policy, everything needed to mitigate risk and what and breaches. And then we also have Chief Information Officer (CIO), which this he will take care of regular audits and coordination needed for the same what uh, for the same task. Chief Information Officer is what it take care of regular audits. It's not is to what audit both the risk and breaches and coordinate needed for the what for the same, which is the risk and breach. We also have Chief Risk Officer. This one analyze, implement, and audit compliances. We also have head of department slash company. This also they do all these position. They follow all this. They do their task is to set policy and procedure, take to what and then to all this or to implement all the tax, all these responsibilities that are here. They are all the roles that are here. So no, oh sorry. The function of chief security officer is to set policy and procedure, program and security training. While the chief information officer, the CIO, is to take care of security risk and breaches. While the chief risk officer is to take care of regular audits and coordinate need for the same. And the head of department, like company, is to analyze, implement, and audit the compliance. So that's what they do. Now we have mid-level manager, MGR. This one analyze, he also implements audit and compliance. He also arrange training, spread what policy also. Now we also have organizational staff and employee. This implements policy, report risk, report security risk, and vulnerability and breaches. This is what it does. He implements policy, reports security risks and vulnerability and breaches. That's the function of what organization staff and employee. Now, the purpose. Let's look at the legal what the larger organization. We have from CEO to CSO, Chief Executive Officer. We also have Chief Security Officer, Chief Risk Officer. We have the CIO, Chief Information Officer. We also have DH, department head. We have DH also for the CRO, the CIO for the CRO also. We have mid general manager, and we also have another mid general manager also. So this is how in larger organization, this is how they are arranged. Their position is being arranged. Smaller organization, we have the CEO. After the CEO, we have either the CSO, CIO, CRO, or DH. And then to the MGR, another MGR, and other MGR also. Now, framework of information security governance. Framework of information security governance. One, successful information security and risk mitigation and management can be done by using a framework. We have a framework for that. The framework suggests control to secure a company information and information system. The framework of information security governance tackles some areas of governance, which are as follows. Number one, rights and tasks of board of director and trustees. Number two, rights and tasks of senior executives also. And then number three, rights and tasks of team members in the executive committee. The this framework, this is the framework for information security governance, which are the number one, which rights and tasks of board of director and trustees. The board of directors, the information security governance will discuss, will tell them what they need to do, both the director and trustees. And we also have the right tasks of senior executives. All those senior executives, their rights and what they need to do, it will tell them the information security governance. And the rights and tasks of team members in the executive committee, all the team members in the executive committee, their rights is going to be discussed there. And they also have right and tasks of upper management. All the upper management, what they need to do, their rights, what they do supposed to do, the do and the do, and the tasks they need to do. Also, we also discuss about the function of users and staff in general. Functions of users and staff in general also needs to will be discussed here. Also, we also have security program of that particular unit in the organization. Also have security program of that particular unit in the organization will also be there, and also reporting structure in that particular unit in the organization, how it will be reported also will be mentioned in the information security governance, and evaluation of information security programs also will be what mentioned in the information security governance. Now let's talk about implementation of information security governance framework. Number one is the initiation. Number two is diagonizing, and number three is establishing. Number four is acting. Number five is learning. And then there has to be a model to adapt and implement the framework in every organization. A university in the USA, Synergia Mellon, has come up with a model to follow when implementing the framework and analyze it. It is the abbreviation of idea for the five phases: initiation, diagnosing, establishing, acting, and learning. Those are the ones which should be discussed. Now, when we are talking of initiation stage, this is where groundwork is laid for improvement tasks. And the diagnosis and is to compare current situation with the final desired status. To compare current situation with the final desired status. And number three is establishment, to establish plan on specific to reach the final status. What are the plans to achieve this goal, to implement this governance, information security governances? And we also have number four, which is action, the component of risk management, addressing the way in which risks are monitored over time. This we talk about how what risk are monitored over times, how they are monitored, continuous monitoring and the rest after being established. We also have learning from experience to improve what further. We have what learning from experience. Now, owing to the importance of the ISG assessment tool, it is the first step to implement the tools in any organization. Using these assessment tools, organizations thoroughly will check their information security step as their foremost goal. The tools can be divided into four components, and they are as follows. These are the tools what they use after being implemented. Number one, dependency on the businesses. Talking of the dependencies on the business, these are the ones we use to measure how much the organization depend on the IT for its core business. How do they what depend on the IT infrastructure, the way the IT run the organization? How are they dependent? Is it 100%? Is it secure, safe, and the rest? We also have staff. This at this stage, this assesses organizational aspect of information security program. And also management of risk. In this place, evaluation of risk management, procedures, creating information security strategies. This is where it is being implemented. All the risk was strategies, security strategies, and everything that is needed to this is where it is being was evaluated. Risk management, strategies for risk management, implementation of the security tools, and the rest. Here, this is where what it is being was evaluated. Processes, let's talk about processes. This is where we determine the procedure that should be followed in the information security program. Maybe we are going to pick a particular framework that, oh, this is the one we are going to implement. This is where what it is being what to determine. This is the strategy we are going to follow. Apart all the strategies, all the recommendations, here we are going to pick what the process we are going to what, follow for the implementation. Now, The information security governance assessment tools, along with the ISG framework, is utilized by different companies to understand the role of information security governance. Now, to understand the role of information security governance at a high level, information security governance assessment tools like the ISV have to be what? Have to be utilized for us to understand it. And then it is also used to organize and structure the role in the company. Information security governance is used to what? We also use it to arrange, organize, structure each role of each and everybody in the what in the company. The role of the CISO, Chief Information Security Officer, Chief Executive Officer, Chief the the mid manager, and so forth. This will describe all the role of everybody, including the staff in the what in the organization. Now, information governance. Information governance or IG, IG is called what? Information governance. Comprises of many policies, procedures, and processes. This is where we have policies, procedures, processes, and controls to supervise information security at an enterprise level to support a company present and future operational requirements. Everything needed, information governance, everything needed to make sure that the security of the business operation is intact, both present and future. All those information is there. Either the processes, the control, the control, and then the policies, procedure, and every latest things that is needed to have successful business operation, both now and in future, is what is in the information governance. Now, these are the different area. These are the different area we have. The different area of general governance are number one, govern the operation of the company to protect its crucial properties, crucial assets. This angle what govern the operation, the day-to-day activities, the processing, the operation of the businesses. Are you with me? To protect the critical assets that are used for the procedure, for the processes, for the business operation. And we also have to safeguard the company market value, taking care of its stock price. This is a large organization. This governance is also safeguard the company market value. You know, when you have assets, all the assets you have will determine the value of both the customer, the people that are working with you, will determine the stock value, the market value of your company. Now, this angle safeguard that angle. And then you also have to supervise the conduct of staff, behavior of staff, professionalism of staff. It's also part of it. This also safeguard the status of the company, the image of the company. Talking of the image of the country, we are talking about the integrity of the company. Is it still trusted, the trust, the digital trust of the company, the organization, and the rest? And number five, which is to meet compliance requirements. Also to meet compliance requirements so that to avoid fine. Are you with me? So these are the things that are in information governance. Now, IT governance, information technology governance is very crucial for a number of reasons. It's very important. When we're talking of crucial, something very important, something you cannot trade off, something you cannot avoid is of importance. One, financial payoff. Because of what financial payoff, it is very to address this issue. It is very and then cost of IT is very high. The cost of what IT is very high. That is why information technology governance is very was important, and IT is used extensively in the business operation. That's why it's also what important. And then because of new technologies that are coming out, like Raspberry Pi devices and so forth, due to this reason, IT governance is of what crucial, is of importance. And number five, IT value is no true IT what governance. The value of your IT infrastructure, IT asset is known because of the IT governances. And then we also have acceptance from executives is needed for it to work well. It has to be accepted by the executives. This strategy, this the governance, this IT governance or strategies have to be accepted by the executive for it to work very well, for us to implement it. And we also have Since senior executive cannot monitor all governance or governances assist them, only the senior executive cannot monitor everything, day-to-day activities and everything. That's why the governors also work as system. The IT governance, information governance will assist. And then we also have for top revenue growth, profit, and other performance related objectives. You know, the motive of an organization, of an enterprise, is to minimize what cost and maximize profit. Governance will also help us to grow in revenue generation and also maximize profit and other personal related issues. Now, components of information security governance. These are the components. You have external supervisor, law, and order. We also have governance. You also under the governance you have strategic planning. We also have organization structures. We also have role and responsibility, which should be what assigned to everybody in the organizations. We also have enterprise architecture. Also, we also have our policy and guidance. Also, we also have continuous supervisions. We also have implementation. All this, after all this, we implement. After all this have been what drafted, we now implement it. Now, the details of the steps involved in information security governance are as follows. Number one, strategic planning of information security. You have to plan it strategically to meet the goal of the businesses. You know, we have different businesses and services. And number two, we also have organization structure slash information security governance structure. You have to also put that in place also. And the role and responsibility of key governances each and every one of uh, 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 each executive, their roles have to be what, and their responsibility have to be also be implemented, have to be there also. And we also have policy and guidance of information security. What are the policies? What are the guidance of information? What the security policies? Now, we have centralized and decentralized. Decentralized goal this way, why decentralized what? When we're talking of centralized, everything is being directed by a person. Why decentralized, everybody has to do his own task to meet the goal. Now, multiple mission represented centrally policy customized. Now, with centralized, create company mission, consistent policy, and direct reporting work structure. Now, here we have multiple missions, different functions, scattered management across the organizations. You have like when here the centralized is when a particular company have a single goal, a single mission. Why the decentralized is multiple missions, multiple goals. Only one company have multiple goals, multiple work function, like different services the business is provided. That's one you have decentralized. And different people, different you have different executive for that are doing those tasks. Now, different function, different governance need for what each missions and each functions. So these are the components of what information security governance. Now, challenges of information security governance. One, to balance different requirements by different governing group. Different governing group may not contradict, but neither do they complement each other. Now, different missions, we need to create different governance. And when we are creating it, they will not complement each other because they are doing what different taxes. They are fulfilling different purposes. And we also have to balance policies set by national slash federal law and company what specific policy. There's also problem here because we're having different for different services, different mission. To balance it is very what is very is somehow hard. And then to be up to date with standard guidance evolving for different requirements. It's also hard to meet. It's not easy to meet. And we also have budget prioritizations, projecting the finance part, the resources part, with limited national budget and resources. Highest priority security issues need investment. So a lot of money needed to put all these things in place. Now let's talk about our information governance model. We have different model. After governance model, a governance model is an approach which take care of the various elements such as policies, system, structure, strategic, and operational framework. This monitor, it take care, monitor, make sure that everything is working fine. All the policies we are talking about. When we are talking of policy, we are talking of procedures, policy implemented by the organizations, systems, the system we are using, the hardware, and the structure of the organization. How the organization is being structured, the business operation is being structured, and strategies that we need to implement, and the operational framework also. The governance model is what is handled. We take care of it. It's make sure that everything is working fine in that angle. Now, governance model can be centralized where it is controlled by a single individual or organization, or it could be distributed also, where control is given based on merit or contribution. Governance model, it can be either be centralized. When we're talking of centralized, a single entity, a single person is controlled, or a single organization is controlled. When we are talking of distributed, it is controlled based on merit. That you are what? You are you are qualified, or contribution based on your contribution, based on your part, based on contribution will be determined also. Now, also our governance model can also fall anywhere in between a totally centralized to a totally distributed model. It can also fall in any angle of this. We also have a project can move from one to another type that is centralized or distributed based on time and requirement. So that's for that. Now, obstacle phase during adoption of governance model. Defining a governance model is very crucial. Companies sometimes fail to implement this model because of various reasons. These are the reasons we have. Sometimes organizations fail. Red taxism in the process. If there's any issue, like maybe there's any red flag along the road in the processes, this can cause what? This can make an organization to fail. Concern regarding the direction the project might take. What are the direction? Maybe you have to lay down a pipeline, and where the pipeline is to pass is going to what? Is going to pass the federal housing or the state government housing. You know that that project has already failed because they won't allow you to use a pipeline to pass through the government complex or House of Assembly. And we also have fear of losing control of the strategy of the project. Or we also have the size or age of the project could negate to get developers or users. You can also the age. How many days will it cost also will it take us to implement this? Can also cause it. Now let's talk on type of governance model. One, we have operational model. We also have collective models, also have constituent representation model, representational model. We also have traditional model also. We also have role-based model. We have policy governance model. We have advisory board model. So those are the type of model we have. Any questions so far? You understand? Now, for a successful governance model, the governance model has the following responsibility. You have to create a vision for that. How to create a vision for this model and obtain resources. Every resources needed to accomplish the implementation of the model have to be in place, and then define specific function and tasks should be assigned to each and every team members, participants, and then create benchmark for performance and supervise the results. The performance in performance of each participant or team member or executives have to be have to be measured the performance and the results they bring out, and then label liable to key stakeholders. Every key stakeholders have to be will be carrying along also. Those are the different responsibility. Um, Now, governance style and type of board. We have corporate and ownership board, which is responsible for both governance and the management. And we also have advisory board. They only provide advice and no governance. They only advise you, you can take these steps, you can do this one, you can do this one, this will what help you. And we also have pension and trustee board. Pension and what? And trustee board. This manage assets, investment, and disbursement. The pension and trustee board, they manage all the organization assets, all their investments, and what and disbursement of all these payments. And then we also have operational board. This does the operation work and governance work for lack of finance to hire specific tasks for that role. So they are in charge of hiring what when there is lack of what lack of staff to execute task for that role. Their main task is to what is to do the work and the governance work. They do the operational work and the governance work because there's lack for finance to hire those staff that are needed. I also have marketing board also. Marketing board, this assign quotas to members and find and for bringing what products to the market. The marketing board, the one in charge of assigning quotas to members, like assigning tasks to members and for bringing products to market, carrying advertising. Marketers, those are the ones that market your organization product. Now, also have resource board. Those are the ones that manage the environmental area of a particular region of the organization region. We also have government service board also. These are the national slash provincial responsibility a local board for carrying out governmental rules such as school board, public service board, health board, and so on. When we are talking of social service, they are the one in charge, the government service work board. We also have charity board, which is responsible for services and fundraising activities for a particular ward, either for orphanage and the rest, the risk funds. We also have professional association board. These are self-regulatory of aspects and professional practice elements. So these are the attacks of this board. This is the summary of this class. Everything.